prospect for a suitable site for an ice-house. In Italy, he tells me, the nobility build such houses in shape like a columbarium for the preservation of food. A broad round hole is made in the ground. It is lined with brick and mortared to make it watertight, and a dome built over it with but a narrow entranceway, so that it looks to a passer-by like a stone bubble exhaled by some subterranean ogre. The chamber is filled to ground level with blocks of ice brought from the mountains in covered carts insulated with straw. Even in the fiery Italian summers, says Rose, the ice is preserved from melting by its own coldness. So the exquisites of Tuscany can enjoy chilled syrups all summer long. Better still, shelves and niches are made all around the interior walls of the dome, and there food can be kept as fresh as in the frostiest winter. I was inclined to scoff at the notion. We are not Italian. We have neither mountain ranges roofed with snow nor summers so sultry that a north-facing larder will not suffice to keep our food wholesome. Mr. Rose took no offence, saying jovially, "Come, Norris, the air is sweet and my poor lungs crave a respite from plaster dust. You will wish to ensure my stone beehive is not so placed as to ruin one of your fine views." He plays me adroitly. At the mention of a vista I was all attention, my mind running away with me, as it has a propensity to do, in pursuit of a curious likeness. I was picturing his half-moon of a building, rising pleasantly from amidst shrubs as a baby's crown emerges from the flesh of its dam. Or I would perhaps surround it with cypresses, I thought, if they could be persuaded to thrive so far north. Then this humble food store could make a show as pleasing as the ancient tombs surviving amidst greenery upon the Roman Campagna. I let that last sentence stand, but note here, in my own reproof, that I have not seen the Campagna, or any of Italy. I must guard myself from the folly of those who seek to appear cosmopolitan by alluding to sites of which they have but second-hand knowledge. The Roman Campagna is to me an engraving, seen once only, and a fine painting in the drawing-room here, whose representation of the landscape is doubtless as questionable as its account of its inhabitants. If the picture were to be believed, these go naked, and many of them are hoofed, like goats. Mr. Armstrong found the two of us around midday. He rapidly grasped the little building's usefulness for the storage of meat, and, accustomed as he is to lording it over his underlings, began to give Mr. Rose orders as to where he should place hooks for the suspension of deer carcasses or pairs of rabbits. "Once you've made us that roundhouse, Mr. Rose," he said, with the solemnity of a monarch conferring a knighthood, "we'll eat hearty all year." He kept rubbing his hands together. It is his peculiar way of expressing pleasure. I have seen him do it when the two fowl, the Adam and Eve of his race of pheasants, arrived safely in their hamper after traversing the country on muleback. Already his inner ear hears the rattling of wing feathers and the crack of musket shot. He fought for the king. The scar that traces a line from near his cheekbone, over jaw and down into his neck, tells how he suffered for it. It is curious how those who have been soldiers seek out the smell of gunpowder in time of peace. Most of the keenest sportsmen I know have experience of battle. "Have you anything in your pocket worth the showing?" asked Rose. The question seemed impertinent, but Armstrong gave an equine grin. His back teeth are all gone, but those in front, growing long and yellow, made his smile dramatic. He reached into the pouch from which he had already drawn a pocket-knife and a yard cord for measuring, and opening his palm flat, showed 3 small black coins. It came to me that it was for the sake of this moment that he had sought out our company. Rose took one up daintily, holding it by its edges as though it were a drawing he feared to smudge. "Trajan," he said. "Trianus," and he sounded as happy as I might be on finding a rare orchid in the wood. "Silver." He and Armstrong beamed at each other, then both at once remembered their manners and turned to me. "Mr. Norris," it was Armstrong who spoke first, "if you can give us more of your time, we'll show you what lies beyond those lakes of yours." "Yes, come," said Rose. "We have been much at fault in not letting you sooner into our secret. Mr. Armstrong."